Panama has shown more than anything is that there's one rule for the rich and one rule for the rest. If you've got a lot of money, you put it in a tax haven, you get a big income as a result of it, you pay no tax on it. If you're a care worker, a street cleaner or a nurse, you don't have those options, you don't have those opportunities, you pay your tax. And I tell you, the anger out there of a lot of people who work really hard, pay the tax and not offered negotiations with HMRC, they have to pay and they get fined if they're late.
Number 10 would say the Prime Minister has paid tax on everything that he owes tax on and has been unimpeachable on this, and this is really just about the politics of envy now, these stories about his mother's £200 million and so forth.
It's not about the politics of envy, it's about the politics of openness, it's about the politics of tax evasion and avoidance on an industrial scale, which the Panama Papers have revealed.
Absolutely.
And we therefore need to be much more assertive on the question of overseas arrangements in British dependent territories that are administered self-government, usually locally, but Britain obviously has a huge responsibility for them. Why are we allowing and indeed encouraging tax havens in British dependent territories, knowing full well that it actually shortchanges everybody in this country?
I want to come directly on to that, but before we do, you can't point at any issue where the Prime Minister has not paid his taxes, can you?
I want to see the papers. We need to know what he's actually returned as a tax return. We need to know why he put this money overseas in the first place and whether he made anything out of it or not before 2010 when he became Prime Minister. These are questions that he must answer. I think there is a question for Parliament there. There is a question for parliamentary standards to question him on this. There is a question, big questions that have to be put to him by Parliament, and that surely is the function of Parliament.
Do you think he's been lying in any way about the money that he's had in the past?
I think he took an awful long time to say what money he had in those trusts, what money was given to him by his family, what money he's received as a result of it, and what tax he's paid on it. There's been a series of rather changing stories coming out of Downing Street. There's been roughly a statement every 18 to 24 hours since last Monday on this. I don't know why he couldn't say the whole thing last Monday, but he's still not finished yet because he hasn't actually said exactly how much tax he did or didn't pay.
Could we see a future Labour government saying that if you want a role in public life, if you want to stand for election, and perhaps if you want to be on programmes like this interviewing people or be a newspaper editor or a political journalist, you must in future publish your income tax return?
I think we're moving in that direction. I think it's probably a good thing if we move generally in that direction so that everybody knows what influences are at play. Money and politics have to be treated with the greatest sense of openness possible so you know what influences are at work on any individual on whatever political or any other decisions they make.
The other big area in terms of public policy is what happens to these tax havens. Now, you've said that they should be required to be more open and properly transparent, just as businesses and companies are mostly in the UK itself, or else other steps must be taken. What other steps would you take?
Well, there are various measures one can take. You can explain to them that we want to see a proper tax regime. We want to see them paying their contribution. We're not going to allow people to place money there in order to avoid tax on money that has been made from business or sales or development or marketing, whatever it is, in the UK or indeed any other part of the European Union. This is an international scandal that the Panama Papers have begun to uncover. I believe it's the tip of a very large iceberg. And I tell you, people that are seeing their local services cut, people that are seeing their health services in any country under threat, get very angry when they see the super rich not paying their way.
Jerry,